Hi everybody, this is Diana, aka Pop Culture Diva 42, and this is a video where I wanted to talk a little bit about Walking Dead, specifically about two characters, the Governor and Michonne. And this video was brought on by two instances that I came across in the last 24 hours, where somebody has tried to make the case that the Governor is more sympathetic a character than Michonne. And the first instance of this is I did a video last night with Senior Nerd where we reviewed the first 8 episodes of the first season of The Walking Dead, so make sure to check out that video on Senior Nerd's channel. And he's the first one that told me that he heard a lot of good stuff about Michonne, but so far in the show he's really not liking her character. In fact, she's pretty much a cold-hearted bitch. And in the last epic dramatic scene that we had with Michonne and the Governor in the last episode, he pretty much was rooting for the Governor because he thought Michonne was way too out of line and way too over the top. And after that, Senior Nerd, being the little piranha that he is and just doesn't give up, and I say that with all the love in the world, he sent me a review from io9.com, which ironically is a website that I read all the time, but for some reason I missed their review of The Walking Dead. And the reviewer there, on the mid-season finale review of The Walking Dead, he said pretty much the exact same thing, that he doesn't understand why they're trying to make Michonne so unlikable, and so far the Governor is more sympathetic than he is evil. And I wanted to get my lovely viewers' input on this, because I read the comics and I have a feeling that my view of the character is skewed because of that, because I know my first impression of him is the impression from the comic books, and it may be a little bit harder for me to separate the two, because I do acknowledge that the Governor from The Walking Dead, the show, is certainly more sympathetic and less cruel, less hardcore than the Governor from the comic books. So before I get into it, or maybe like the first point that I have to make is, asking the question, is the Governor from Walking Dead evil? Because like the reviewer from io9.com noted, the truth is that so far this Governor from the Walking Dead TV show seems to be driven mainly by the desire to protect his group of people, which is something that Rick is also trying to do. And Rick also has killed people in cold blood. So, what's the difference between the two? I think the main difference between the two is seeing what kind of people the Governor surrounds himself with, seeing that he has no problem in allowing torture to go on under his roof, and having no problem with having stuff like fights and stuff in Woodbury, and also the very fact that he keeps his zombie daughter alive, in the sense that his zombie daughter is a threat to Woodbury. Like, if she ever got out and if she ever bit him, he would turn into a zombie, because I don't think the Governor doesn't seem strong enough to kill himself or something like that if the situation called for it. So is he evil? Is he really evil? Has he done... Well, he has killed people in cold blood, but obviously Rick has also done that. You can make the argument that they threaten him, or that he sensed the threat, but at the same time, the Governor might have sensed the threat with having soldiers and shit around. But I think the fact that the Governor has such a blatant disregard for... his disregard of the value of human life far extends whatever sins Rick has committed, in my opinion. But does that make him evil? Well, you see, that's the problem, because I tend to consider him evil or not evil by constant comparison with Rick, because Rick, as crazy and as messed up as he is right now, for me is like, he's like the Picard of Walking Dead to some extent. He's a perfect human being to in that particular environment. It's a one-eyed man leading the blind kind of situation. Like, Rick really is the perfect human being to have. I mean, he acts in the perfect way for a human being in such a messed up environment. But also you can say that, I guess, about Daryl, or well, no, I don't think you can say that about Daryl, because, well, maybe I'll get to Daryl in another video, because I don't want to pollute it. And also, this is a society where you have the complete and utter breakdown of morality, of laws, of rules. So what we consider to be evil on a day-to-day basis obviously no longer applies in the Walking Dead universe. But like I said, given by the fact that the governor surrounds himself with people like Merle, because he allows torture to happen under his roof, and because he actively seeks out threats to kill before they even prove to be threats, actually. And of course, because he endangers everybody in his own city because of his own selfish interest, namely to keep his zombie daughter alive for some stupid idea of attachment. While I wouldn't say that he's evil, I think all those things combined with the fact that I know him from the comic books, to me justify an action against him like the action that Michonne took. So I'm not trying to justify anything. I'm just trying to explain my own feelings towards the situation. I think that Michonne was not out of line in coming to him and in essence trying to take him out. Now, whether or not, a big thing for both Senior Nerd and the reviewer, the IO9 reviewer, was like, why did she have to kill poor zombie daughter of the governor? Well, if there's anything that I have learned in 2.5 seasons of Walking Dead, is that zombies are not people. And the second that you become a zombie, you stop being a person. Now, you may say that, oh, well, he still loved her like she was his daughter. That's because he's fucking cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Like, the governor is a crazy psycho fuck that still believed that that thing was his daughter, when clearly, if there's anything that you have learned so far in Walking Dead, is that zombie people are not people. If you're a zombie in Walking Dead, you have two functions. You either die or you eat people. That's all. That's it, okay? There's no emotional value to zombies, no way in fucking hell am I gonna blame Michonne for taking care of a problem, because that's all the zombies are. They're a big fucking problem that you can't get away from. And seriously, honestly, people, don't be sympathetic towards the zombies. That's the one thing that I'm asking of you. Now, after this happened, of course, fighty, and that was an awesome fight between Michonne and the governor. You really believed that they were going at it, and the governor was enraged. But going back to what I was saying previous, I know the governor from the comic books, and in the comic books, him and Michonne's the relationship between him and Michonne was a lot more hardcore. In the comic books, he raped Michonne, and he came really close to raping Maggie, but I'm super glad that he didn't, because Maggie is not Michonne, and that would have been gratuitous and cruel to have that happen to Maggie. Of course, it would have been gratuitous and cruel if it would have happened to Michonne. No ways. And it's so loaded, because you think if he would have done something like that to any character, not necessarily Michonne, but to any character, he would have instantly be branded as evil. Right now, he's walking the line. Some people may say that he's just like Rick, only a little bit more extreme. Some people might find him actually evil because he killed people in cold blood. But if he were to do something like the shit that he has done in the comic books on this TV show, he would, and even like you see in the television show, that one of Glenn's main concerns when Maggie is brought back to him, even if she seems to be okay, even if she's not hurt in any way, did he do that to you? Did he molest you in that way? And it's, I don't know, it's super interesting to me that that's the thing that like certifies your evilness. The fact that you would do that to another woman, and obviously it's something terrible that happens in real life. But at the same time, like if you kill people in cold blood, people can still make excuses for you. But if you do that, you're instantly evil. Of course, it depends, because like the people that he killed are people that are anonymous, like we didn't know them, but we know Maggie, and we kind of got to know Michonne in this season. So obviously we're more emotionally attached to these characters, and me as a female, obviously, and female viewers, if the governor would have done something like he did in the comics, like instantly, he's evil, no excuses. So yeah, that's something that I find super interesting, in how warped our perceptions are, and especially like in this universe where, again, the fact is that the governor hasn't done anything that is a lot worse than Rick. It's just that Rick pretty much has taken it upon himself, has taken that responsibility of doing all the dirty work, whereas, yeah, I think that's an interesting idea. Well, I'm so fucking smart. The thing about Rick is that if somebody else in his group would kill people in cold blood, they would be expelled. Like, I have no, and I think he said that in the comic books, they did say that at some point, in no fucking killing. If anybody else would do that in his group, they would be expelled. But he does take that responsibility upon himself, whereas the governor delegates. Like, he has no problem surrounding himself with cold-blooded killers. I can tell you that much. He can kill himself, or he can delegate other people to kill. And he has sent like Merle and the others after Michonne with the clear intention to kill the bitch. Yeah, he is fucking evil. So I don't know what I'm going on and on about right now. And on the question of Michonne, I know it seems over the top for her to get Rick and the others inside Woodbury and then just skip off and wait patiently to kill the governor. Now, I try to reason it honestly, I do think it's a little over the top. I do think there are no blatant, obvious reasons to do that outside of, being shifty and mysterious and shit. But the way I try to reason it is that Michonne is actually blaming him for her separation from Andrea, which I think it would be really interesting if they actually implied that Michonne is in love with Andrea. I think that would be super interesting. There's no doubt in my mind that Andrea has some awful taste in men. So yeah, on the one hand, it was the separation from Andrea that really hurt Michonne. On the other hand, I think it's the clear belief that he is endangering people's lives, and he is endangering Andrea's life. And I don't know, this was so much clearer to me last night when I was talking to Senior Nerd. So once again, I am curious what my viewers think. Do you think the governor is evil enough? Not evil enough? Do you consider him likable? Do you think Michonne is more of a bitch than she is a badass warrior type? Please discuss.